Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Southgate Shopping Center, home to a million stories and our Culpeper County Library. Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Krawczyk, joined by the man, the myth, the soon-to-be legend, Mr. Bryan McCormick. Bryan, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
First off, it is a pleasure to have you on the air. It's been, and again, you can fault me for this, it's been far too long because you've been at the library for a little while now, haven't you?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years next month, yeah.
That's incredible. Congratulations on your upcoming anniversary. So for folks that have not had the opportunity to meet you, how did you come to Culpeper? How did you get into the library world?
Well, I've been working in libraries for coming up on 30 years. And I was at my last library for, ended up being 16 years. And I'd say probably right around the pandemic time, maybe right before, my wife and I were thinking maybe it's time for something new to go kind of explore a new area. So I'd been looking for a while, and we'd vacationed out here. So when the job was posted, I applied for it, and it was a little bit later. I thought maybe they forgot about me. And then I got an email that they wanted to talk to me, and they said, because you're in Wisconsin, we can do a Zoom meeting. I said, no. I said, I will get out there. I'll be there. I'll meet you. And so I drove out here. It was right when all those forest fires were going on.
I'm sorry,
Canada,
you drove out here?
Yeah, I drove out here.
Okay, all right.
And one day I was like, well, I can do it. Still somewhat young, so I can handle it. But yeah, I drove out here. The Canadian wildfires are coming out, so I got up, in the morning. You could smell that, and I'm like, okay. But I met with the board, had a really good time. I had a real good visit and enjoyed it, and headed back and told my wife, I said, it went really well. And then a couple of days later, they called and they said they wanted me to come out here. I said, absolutely. So the one tricky part was we were used to school starting around Labor Day. So here's a little early. So
a bit.
My period to get out here went from 10 weeks down to 6. And so it was kind of a lot of hustling and getting things done, but we made it work. And I brought the family out here end of June to see the area, kind of look around, look at a couple houses. We found one. It all worked out. And the big thing was we wanted the kids to start school. When it started. We didn't want them to start late. So we did get them here. It was like the day before school started. We arrived in town. So we made it all work.
How old are your kids?
So Andrew is 16 and Christopher's 13. So both teenagers now. And they were both starting. Andrew was a freshman in high school and Chris was a sixth grader at Floyd T. So we did at least get them started when a lot of kids were transitioning to new school. So it helped a little bit.
All right, so now I have to ask, how is the family loving Culpeper?
Oh, we're really enjoying it now. I mean, it's obviously a big move. It's the kids' first time, away from the house that they grew up in. So a little bit of a transition period, but they're both excelling in school, doing really well. They're in the band. We're really enjoying it. I was probably about 6 months after we got here. I told my wife, I said, where we were in Janesville, I said, I never envisioned retiring there. I said, I always felt like moving. I said, here I could retire because, but I've talked to many other people. It's like within an hour, you can be in the mountains or you can be, near the ocean or near a large city or whatnot. There's plenty to do. And so, and we're a family that, we're here during the week, and on the weekends we try to do, if it's not a weekend trip, a day trip somewhere. So we're doing a lot of that stuff. So it's great. And we always got to check and say, okay, what's going on in Culpeper first? And so you plan kind of around that. So, you're here for the major things.
That is the absolute perfect way to start a week. First off, what's happening in Culpeper?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We'll see what else there is.
Yeah.
So, and when you came in, all indications are that you made pretty much a pretty big splash, because there has been so much going on with the library.
I think, number one, I'm somebody that is always looking at something, okay, how can we do it better? And then number two, I think the staff here were itching to make some changes and some upgrades and things. So I kind of just played off of that. And so one of the first ones was our website that needed to be revamped and redone. That was kind of, quite honestly, an eyesore. Mm-hmm. And so along with that, we also updated the logo. It was a logo, I want to say the look of it was probably around the 90s. I remember working on a logo at that time in my career. It looked very similar. So that was one of the things we wanted to work on. So that was nice as a team that we all worked on that together. And then the website, because we were completely revamping that, there was a lot of work to it and working with the developer and just how do we want it laid out, what is the information, all that. So it took a while, but I like where we ended up.
I must say the website is very fresh, very new, very easy to navigate.
Yeah.
I've checked it out a number of times because I have a library card. And it really is, there were a number of times before where I was trying to maybe look to download an ebook and, you just had to kind of had to dig deep. And now everything is right there at your fingertips. And I think what it also lends itself to is when somebody who is not familiar with the online presence of the library, it's easy to navigate and it really shows them all the available resources online, because there are a number of resources you can access on the website.
There's so much. And we get, as librarians, we got to kind of pick and choose sometimes what we want to have or maybe we think we need it, we'll try it. Maybe it doesn't work out, then we'll try something else. But we want to make sure we have the best material in there for our community.
So refresh my memory. Can you kind of take me through what can I do on the website, just the website itself? I mean, obviously I could search.
So, probably one of the biggest changes was our event calendar, just with all the activities going on at the library. And you can, browse through that really easily. But then also you can, book a room or reserve a room. That's been a big thing too for the community, because if you do happen to come in the library, you will see how often our rooms are being used, whether it's the study rooms or the meeting room or the conference room. And so that was a big upgrade that we had, was just people being able to go on there, reserve it, all online. So that's a big one. And then of course, all the programs that our staff do. I mean, I'll have a day where I kind of want to have a meeting with somebody and I'll go and I'm like, what a find a different day to do it.
I'm doing my job too well.
So there's all that. And then, on the website, there's the links to all the different resources that we have, all the databases, plus that information about, what's happening here or how they can use the library, some of the services that we offer. So there's, like you said, it's very easy to navigate, so you can go in there and you should be able to, if there's something you want to research, it kind of makes sense where to go and to find it. But there's a ton of information.
So with the newer website, you also have a new automation system. Is that correct?
Yeah, that just been 2 weeks.
2 weeks
that we've been on that. So that was I didn't have any familiarity with the system they were using here. It's popular with a lot of single location libraries. And coming from the Midwest, we worked in consortium wise. So like a system that could, support 20, 30, 40 libraries and also is more modern and up to date, my feeling. And in talking to some of the other library directors around here, they were migrating also to new systems. And I talked with our staff. And so we met with 4 other vendors. 2 of them came here and 2 were via Zoom meeting. And in those meetings, I think the staff realized, there's a lot more out there, and especially for the patrons, because we all felt our current system was a little clunky. So we wanted to update that. And we were actually kind of on a fast track. Normally it takes a year to maybe migrate, and June to July. So we had to kind of there was a lot of stuff in the background we had to get prepared. And kudos to my staff. Lori and Michelle did a ton of work behind the scenes to get that up and running. And so I say it's going smooth. I've been through 5 migrations. So I've been through them. I think it went fairly smooth. There's always like little things that you find and all that. The biggest thing with this one was there's a security feature for patrons where they have to have a PIN to go along with their library card number before they can access some of the resources. But once that's set up, everything is there. One nice thing too, if you're wanting to check out Overdrive materials or Hoopla, that all shows up in our catalog now. You don't have to go to the Hoopla site or
to search a different catalog.
Yeah, it's all there. So that makes it nice. So if you want ebooks, you can put that in there as a search feature, and all the stuff that's available to them will show up. Or you can just put all and everything here in the library. whether it's audio, video, or a book or electronic, will show up. So you have all those different options.
I pity your IT department with all of these advances in cyberspace.
So they're learning too, because we made a switch to a local IT provider, TechBox. We'd been with a company out of the Richmond area for a while, and it was okay, but there were things that I asked of them that we weren't seeing happen. They were being reactive to issues when they came up. And so that was something we wanted to change. So we met with a couple of companies. We thought they were the best fit for us. And so they've been with us it's been 3 months. And, they've been great. And having someone local, because we've had issues where it's like, hey, can you come by, jump on the computer, fix this? And having to schedule someone to come out from Richmond is not as easy. Whereas here, these guys will be, if we have to have them here, 15 minutes leaving the building.
I love the working with a local company. Hey, kudos to TechBox.
Yeah.
To make sure, and they're probably going to be watching this and like, okay.
I'm sure, yeah.
Got to keep up.
What's that guy saying about us now?
So with all the improvements in cyberspace, there are still more improvements in the physical space planned for Culpeper County Library.
Yeah.
In fact, changes is pretty much an understatement. There's so much happening, or that we're trying to make happen.
Yeah, it's coming down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to me about it. I've seen some of it. I want to hear from you.
So this kind of goes back to when I interviewed, and I'm walking around the building, and there's some real nice spaces, and there's some others that are dated, and I'll have to preface, I went through a renovation previously just in my past library where it was a 20-year-old building, and we were doing a renovation kind of similar to this. And so there were things that jumped out to me right away that I'm like, okay, so here's some things that we need to work on. But I think the biggest one was when I came around the corner back here by Children's and went over by their workspace, and it's basically just an area carved out behind some shelves and a shower curtain. I was like, okay, this is no way to work. So we have to address that. And then in talking with the staff, they had some ideas and some things. So we sat down with a local architect who works with the county. And so we had that familiarity and just kind of talked about, the area that we wanted to do. And they threw some ideas at us and kind of went with the theme of, let's have, downtown Culpeper as a theme for the youth area. And so they came with some great ideas. And if you come in the library, you can see some of the boards that we have set up and some of the ideas. But having like the Culpeper trolley as our youth service desk was great. The facade from the State Theater kind of being in the wall, the train station depot in the back wall, and then just some murals in the back corner, and just kind of liven it up a little bit. And I remember my youth services director, Shannon, after a meeting with the architect, and he was showing us some of the ideas, and she'd look back at her space, and she's like, oh, now it just looks so depressing because what it can be.
What it could be. Yeah, you're like, oh man.
So I'll be meeting with the foundation here next week, and just going over some strategies to help fundraise for the project. And we're all pretty confident we'll get there. I think, one of the big things is that it's such a dynamic idea and the local feel to it that it's really resonating with those that have seen the ideas for it and everything. So I think we'll get great support for that. And then the teen area too needs a little bit of love. So that space looks a bit updated. And our teen group, we've got, I think it's like 80 volunteers just for the summer to help out. There's a great support with the teens coming here to the library and using it. So, we gotta recognize that and really do something for them.
I absolutely agree. Obviously as an outsider, but still a library patron coming in, every single time I come by the library, either my girls go get books or I periodically do read a book or two. Mm-hmm. The spaces for the kids area, the teen area seem almost always filled with patrons.
Yeah.
And I think being able to give them a better space, I think even more patrons will come in and take advantage of it.
I agree. Yeah. And then along with that project, Andrew's been working on having a STEM or a maker lab. And so the space that's in the back of the library where the friend shop is now would kind of be ideal because I'd like to have some venting options there. You got the back wall back there. And the other, I had a friend shop in my last library and it was like right up front. And so it was like the first thing a lot of people see. So we want to move the friend shop up to the front of the library where the old computer lab was. And we're going to renovate that space. So their shop will be right up front for people. So when they come in, they're going to see it right there, all the used books for sale there. We also have a giving tree that's hidden in the community room where all the people that have donated to the library, to the friends. We're going to bring that back front and center and have that along the wall up there. So giving the friends a little bit of love by putting their space up there and then freeing up the space for the maker lab that Andrew's been working on.
So do we have a timetable or a hopeful timetable for these events to occur?
So the friends move to the front of the library. I'm looking at probably next month where we're prepping that room for them, and then we'll move that. I would say by the end of the year we'll have them moved up to the front. Then that'll free up where they used to be, and we'll kind of clear that space. And then as Andrew's kind of working on some grants and some partners with that, he'll get that done. For the youth services teen area, I'm looking at probably, I would guess that'll probably start beginning in next year. And there's some parts of it where the county guys can do some of the work, which is nice having them to tap into. So not everything has to go to a contractor. So we'll have them, maybe prep some areas, and then we'll likely contract out some of the work, such as the trolley and all that, to specialists. And as those things come in, we'll get it all done. So I would say probably by end of 26, that will all be completed.
So what can I do to help? There has to be something I can do to help.
So for now, I believe I got some brochures for the teen youth services construction. So there's a little thing on it, has a little bit more information. There is a space in there to give to that project if people like to. And I'll be following up on that probably with a mailing at the end of the year when everyone does their end of year giving. So we'll keep that in people's minds. Plus, there's always going to be opportunities because all those spaces will need to be supported operationally in years to come. So even if people, can only give $50 or $100, that helps because, that's funds that can then be used in later years to help with funding for projects or events in those areas. So that would be one way. And then just, word of mouth also helps in support for the project. Hey, do you see what they're looking to do? And finding out a little bit more about it or talking to me or to the staff and just support for it. Means a lot, but yeah.
Well, I know that when I came in the library and I'm in the area, I walked by and I saw, you had the renderings up.
Yeah.
Froze me in my tracks.
Yeah.
Froze me in my tracks.
Yeah.
I was absolutely blown away with the ideas that you have for the spaces here.
Yeah, it's real dynamic. And then they're actually going to have a small STEM area for the kids in the corner too. I forgot to mention that, where because we've got some staff that like to do activities with the kids. So having a little sink and cabinet area in the back, you can bring out those little things and do projects every day. So there's always going to be something going on.
So, we need to make sure that folks continue to stop by and, take advantage of the resources here at the library, see the changes as they come, and then support you at every turn that we can.
Yep.
All right. So what we've talked about quite a bit today. We talked about, the renovation here, talked about, yourself, the renovations on cyberspace, a lot going on every single day. Is there anything maybe that we want to make sure that you don't let me forget about?
I think with any organization, it always starts with the staff and the personnel. And I have a great staff here. And I think people in the community know that, because they come in and interact with them and talk to them. And I can't, show enough appreciation for what they do and the attitudes that they bring, all positive attitudes. And even when you're going through a big change, maybe a little bit of grumbling, but they understand what the bigger picture is. We do a lot of fun things too. So when you come in the library now, you'll see that there's all these suitcases that have been decorated by a theme. So we do 4 times a year, we do kind of like a spirit wake. And, we have our dress up and all that, but we always pick out a theme or something to decorate or whatnot. We have a little friendly competition among the departments, but it's all about, enjoying working together, having fun, supporting each other. And I mean, it's a staff of like 22, but it feels like a staff of 40 at times, because they do so much and they're so invested in the library. So I really appreciate them, and I think they know that I appreciate them. I cooked for them last week, so
You did.
Well, I was just grilling. I mean, that's what us guys like.
That
to
is
do,
that is
right?
a science. Merely, I would say, some would say an art. What was on the menu?
Burgers, brats, and dogs. Kept it simple, but
Wisconsin man making brats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Can I please come to the next one? I would appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. Fantastic. I'll do barbecue. You do brats.
There we go.
All right. Well, again, Bryan, thank you so much. I cannot overestimate how wonderful this library is. For years, it has been a beacon of knowledge for the entire Culpeper community. It is wonderful to see you and your amazing staff continue and move forward even more through the years. I'm excited to see what's next.
Yeah, we are too. Yeah, as each little project happens, it's like, oh, good, great to see. It's like, and then I'm always thinking, okay, what's next?
Yeah, what's next?
And they're like, oh, can we just take a break?
Yeah, they're just you're running them ragged, Bryan.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, it's the amount of work that goes into this beautiful establishment, whether it be online or in person. It's just incredible, and you're doing great work.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. I know the staff appreciate it too.
All right. Well, again, folks, I want to invite you to log on to cclva.org. Check out the new website, all the new offerings. If you don't have a library card, you can do that on there, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
Look at that. Look at that. Again, take advantage of the opportunities that Culpeper County Library affords to every single citizen in our wonderful community. Well, folks, until we see you in the reference room or maybe in the brand new makerspace coming soon, I hope you have yourselves a great day and a better tomorrow.